Funding for Georgia Outdoors has been made possible in part by the Imlay Foundation and from viewers like you.
This is the urban food forest at Brown's Mill. Now, a forest garden grows berries and nuts, and they've added the community gardens behind me for vegetables and herbs. The whole idea is to get this community to eat healthy and show them how to do it.
We are harvesting, we are planting, and we are planting.
Rosemary Griffin is the assistant garden manager for the Atlanta Grows a Lot area. That involves more than just growing the vegetables. She teaches the many volunteers like Chandria Hardiman.
It's just cutting it off the stem, right? I've never harvested the zucchini.
Okay. What you want to do is kind of lift it up and cut
then
back.
cut back here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Further back.
Back?
Yeah,
that?
there you go.
There. Are they going in
Just
here?
put it in again. And you can get the other one too if you want to. We're going to take that one.
Are you sure I'm not all?
Yeah, I'm sure. Might be better to come at that one from this way.
From this angle?
Uh-huh. Come this way.
Oh yeah, it's clear over here. Oh.
Yeah.
Rosemary began working the garden at the request of a childhood friend.
So he came to talk to the then project manager from Trees Atlanta, Mike McCord. Talked to him about coming in and volunteering, and he asked me to join him. And trust me, that was a big ask because I'm not a dig in the dirt kind of girl, but I have learned to be. And so in 2019, we actually adopted the garden through the Atlanta Grows a Lot program, and we started volunteering, recruiting garden members and everything, so that's really how it began. Then 2020 hit, the year of COVID-19. Luckily, as a place that grows food, we were considered essential, so we were still able to come out and garden. And the way we work is we garden communally. We don't rent the beds out because we wanted to always look well maintained. So we garden as a group. The group harvests and share, amongst themselves first. Then we go out into the neighborhood and distribute food to neighbors in the neighborhood. One of the main things we are trying to do here is, obviously these 39 beds are not going to feed the neighborhood. So we really consider ourselves a teaching garden. We want to encourage people to come out and learn and to be able to grow their own food. And I think a lot of people learned in 2020 that may be very important, because you would go into the grocery store and there was nothing. So, and we really want to teach the children, start at an early age, so that they can encourage their parents to eat healthier. So that's kind of our mission here.
We have different groups at the Food Forest who manage different areas and facilitate it. These are all resident-led groups. These are all largely volunteers that are receiving some support through donations in the city and other nonprofits. And then they each have their own unique kind of guidelines to how to harvest food and how to get it out to the community. But it's definitely growing food collectively and collaboratively, and then getting out to the community in a variety of different ways.
Jay Alubaiwu, better known as Jay Alu, is Atlanta's Director of Urban Agriculture. The city goal is to have 85% of Atlanta's population within a half mile of fresh, affordable food. The neighborhoods around here are somewhat isolated. Many are seniors, and if you don't have a car, it can be a problem getting groceries.
It's 3 to 5 miles to the grocery store, and then the bus runs every hour. And on Saturdays, it runs every hour and a half, okay? So if you got a job and you miss the bus in the morning, you already late for work. So the closest train station to us on one side is Inman Park, okay, which is all the way down Moreland, and you know, if you know the area, and then on the other side is Lakewood, all the way up Cleveland Avenue. So we don't even have any soft rails, we don't have anything, okay? We don't even hardly have bus stands for standing in the rain.
Swasette Lumpkin is a feisty leader with Friends of the Forest. She calls this a food desert.
We're surrounded by trucking companies, lumber yards, all industrial type of services. UPS, we have a lot of industrial services around us. We have 4 landfills. Would y'all like one of them?
Friends of the Forest shows teenagers how to grow food in hopes that they'll take that knowledge to their parents and start a little garden of their own.
I saw we're now getting ready to change. Okay, I saw change coming. Now, when I looked up food forest, I said, now what's the difference in a food forest and a garden? The difference in the food forest and a garden is the garden is just that, it just grows food. But when I started researching, a forest is much more. There's no end to a forest. A forest is whatever the community needs. It's mind, body, and soul. It's the whole man. If you think about the Garden of Eden, that's what a forest is. So it's much more than a garden. So a lot of people come here and say, it's a garden. No, it's education.
Education, I can see the kids.
It's education and it's life. We exercise. We teach people how to eat. We teach them not only to grow food, but we teach them how to cook it right.
Teaching these teenagers has already had an impact. Now Ronnie McCoy wants to grow his own food. What have you learned working at the food forest? What has it taught you?
It taught me that farming is not as easy as people think it is. It's actually really hard, and it requires a lot of hard labor.
And that's what you want to do?
Yes.
You want to be a farmer?
Yes. You can't really trust what you buy. You can only trust it if you grow it yourself.
Edmund Loyal found a sense of community, which is what the food forest is all about. Are you proud to be part of the Browns Mill community?
Oh yeah, I really am proud, because they reach out to me, they help me sometimes. They even give me advice. They help me. They help me did a lot of stuff. First, in my yard. Even from watching them, I know how to keep my yard clean and keep my yard looking good.
I'm sure your parents like that.
And
how old are you?
15.
All the teens volunteering for Friends of the Forest gained a new appreciation for how food is produced, including Erin Colquitt.
Yeah, because, food, we consume food, every day, every way. So we have to, look out of what we eat, where it comes from, how it comes back, and how it goes away. We have to take care of it because the earth is kind of a very precious thing and people are destroying it day by day, so we have to be careful with everything.
They're learning from senior citizens like Joseph Wilson.
First 3 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, myself and another gentleman, James Sanford, we would come by and we would bring 4 or 5 kids with us. Some days it may be as many as 15. But we would do whatever. These raised beds that I did build, I took time, I built them at my house. I brought them over here to the forest and we set them up about 4 weeks ago. And about 3 weeks ago, James and I and a couple of kids went to Commons Landscaping and we bought dirt, stuff came out and let the kids put the dirt in them. Mix some of the dirt with cow manure and whatever to help fertilize it. Because we do organic growing, we're not going to put anything out here intentionally that is not organic.
The interaction between teenage volunteers and farm expert James Taswell is a joy to see. Seniors and teens work the food forest with mutual respect.
And we're going to do the basic, same thing we've been doing.
Shovel the mulch?
Yeah, and then bring it to the top.
All right.
They obviously have picked up gardening expertise from his knowledge. And I learned a thing or two. Using cardboard under mulch to keep grass from coming up is a new one on me.
The cardboard, and we put the mulch on top of it. and they keep the moistness in the grass and keep the worms up under there. And the cardboard will deteriorate and turn into the soil. And that way we keep, and won't have to work so hard to keep the wild grass from growing through.
At the same time we were watching Friends of the Forest volunteers, a garden expert was teaching children how to plant vegetables.
Hi guys, my name is Heather. I'm the CEO of Wholesome Grown, a local gardening business, and I'm going to teach you about gardening today. Okay, so let's grab some of these little shovels here and I'll show you how to plant your garden. And we'll make sure these plants get big and strong. All right. So I'll do it on one side. All right, so we have tomatoes here. Did you know that if something gets really tall, you should plant it on the northern side of your garden? So that way, on the southern side of your garden, things still get sun and they don't get shaded out. So we're planting this. This is the north. Hey. So we're gonna plant these. So you guys wanna help me? Yeah. All right, so I'll take these out of the containers for you. And then can you dig a hole right there? Okay, dig it. Yep, right there. Go deep. Good job. Good job. Okay, now you want to stick this, maybe a little deeper actually, because you want to know a cool thing about tomatoes?
So mine's back to...
Yeah? Okay, so this stem will turn into roots like magic if it's buried. Okay, so it kind of, you see the roots down here? This will grow roots if you bury it. Isn't that cool? So you can actually have a really cool plant. So we're just gonna pick this little leaf off and then we're gonna bury it this deep in the ground. Doesn't that kind of seem silly? Yeah, okay. Let's see, good job. Yeah, that looks really good. Okay, so now just push the dirt back in. You know why you plant basil next to tomatoes? Because they're friends, they're companion plants. So that means that basil gives off a smell, the smell you just smelled. Some bugs don't like it. And so that's why we plant it next to tomatoes, because it protects the tomato.
Yeah.
They work
Good
together.
Job, basil.
Good job. Okay, you want to dig that hole there? That's plenty deep for our basil. Okay. All right, do you guys see the roots? Here you go, Nasaya. It's like a little baby. Okay, so we're gonna put it in here now. You wanna do it? We can take turns, we have plenty of plants. So let's dig another hole. Here, do you guys wanna help too? Here's a little shovel. You can also just use your hands. All right, so will you dig a little bit deeper for me? Yeah, so what do you think the worms do in the soil?
They make the soil. They make gooder for
yeah, so they loosen up the soil so that the roots can grow really big and strong. Okay, I think that's good now. You want to put the plant in for me? Okay, so I'll hold this. And then can you place it in? Good job. Okay, now let's fill in the dirt around it.
And the kids go home with plants to put in their yards. What you see here is just part of the picture. The actual forest is maintained by Trees Atlanta. Taryn Heidel showed me around.
What is your goal for the future? I mean, you're going to plant more trees?
Yeah, so this is a little bit different than our other restoration projects because we're not as much trying to mimic nature in the same way. We're kind of like filling it with useful plants and also using it as an educational opportunity. So you may notice when you're walking through that there's kind of like what we call rooms where there are plants that are of one species highly planted in one area, and that's kind of to increase the impact for the visitor.
Here is one of the rooms, a large patch of hibiscus surrounded by river oats. The hope is that someone will see this and want to plant it in their yard. Trees Atlanta has spent a lot of time clearing paths with ropes on the side.
I would say the two most common trees that you're going to find in here are red mulberry, which produces an edible fruit that kind of looks like a blackberry but is really, really sweet. And pecan trees. This used to be a pecan orchard at one time, so there are still a lot of pecan trees in here. We also want to try to supplement, so we've been planting American persimmon, pawpaw. We want to plant some more nut trees. So usually fruits and nuts are the most common that you're going to find out here. But we're also looking at planting a lot of different shrubs that will provide different aspects. You know, like spice bush, you can use the leaves for different things, and they're really aromatic. There's also Yalpon holly that you can use the leaves as a caffeine replacement. So they do have caffeine in them, so you can use it as a coffee or a tea replacement.
This will open up the concept of foraging for food, picking berries and looking for nuts on the ground.
The forest is the biggest part of the food forest.
It is, yeah. It's 7.1 acres in total, and definitely more than half of it is just the forested section.
As we were leaving, we ran into a group exploring the forest, and Taryn explained plans for the future and added that volunteers are always welcome.
So we've been planting a lot of like medicinal or edible shrubs, really cool ground covers, like we have native strawberry back there. Yeah, so a lot of different stuff. We always need volunteers too, so if you're ever interested, we are going to be doing projects out here every third Saturday of the month. If you guys want to get nice and dirty and sweaty with us, at least we'll be in the shade.
After many visits to the food forest, it became clear that there's always something going on. Yep, even yoga. Every Saturday at 10, people gather here for yoga. Sometimes the crowd is large, other times it may just be a handful.
Inhaling the body up, exhaling the head back. Inhaling the body back, slowly going into pyramid.
The message is always about improving the health of this community. The food forest may be a city park, but it is designed to bring people together.
This is definitely, again, going back to showing people that we have an agrarian history. We're very much connected to agriculture in Georgia. I believe it's actually the largest industry in Georgia. But you can start from a small space and you can feed yourself. You can increase your own sovereignty and your own agency and health. And then you can also connect and build community that way too. We all like to talk together and eat together.
J.L. acknowledges the city needs to address the lack of nearby grocery stores, but that is largely an economic issue. The food forest is a good first step.
It's interesting. I mean, the food forest concept is basically agroforestry. So it's utilizing what, again, happens in nature already, and then figuring out the different ways that you can grow a different variety of fruits, vegetables, nuts, berries, etc. So the idea is to do it with nature. So what's unique about the urban food forest at Browns Mill is we're doing that in the back. And the back 3+ acres, I want to say, is just like forest and woodlands. But if you start looking at some of the signage and you start looking at some of the things that are growing, you realize, oh, there's a persimmon tree here, or oh, there's nuts here, or oh, there's raspberries here. So it's really going with what nature is doing. What we decided to do with this food forest, though, is also introduce other concepts of urban agriculture. So you've got the community gardens, you've got the herbs that are growing along the pathway, you've got little things that you can touch that way. So the food forest is going with nature, and then we add these different elements because we know this will also draw people in to also experience the back part of the forest and nature.
Celeste Lomax is the herbalist at Food Forest.
My passion is not only growing the medicinal herbs, but harvesting them, distributing them for free, and making medicinal medicines like elderberry syrup. I make a pesticide chemical free for pests, and you can use that to spray on your body and keep the mosquitoes away. I make that with witch hazel, distilled water, and fresh lavender that I harvest right from the garden here.
We followed Celeste as she gathered food for one of the volunteers.
So we are harvesting rosemary right now. Rosemary is great for your memory and cognitive thinking. So if anyone's going to take a test, You will want some of this rosemary and just inhale it, and you're gonna be good to go. You're gonna pass that test, baby. So you have the logs, then you have compost, then you have dirt, and then you have mulch. It holds the moisture so that you don't have to water as much.
And these are collards?
And these are collards. And I am so excited because this is my first time growing them. I didn't know how they would do, and they're doing great. Like over here, we have red cabbage and Swiss chard.
I saw that cabbage.
Yeah, and that was my first time doing that too. So a lot of this stuff is, you know, trial and error, see how it works, and if it works, you keep doing what you're doing. And these collard greens are just absolutely beautiful. I've harvested off these collard greens 5 times already. Okay, so we have here Swiss chard, rosemary, thyme, collard greens, and oregano.
Thank you.
Fresh organic vegetables for one of the best volunteers that we have.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Ashe.
I'll see you next week.
All right, sweetheart.
And that's the way it works. Volunteers are rewarded with education and food. None of this would work without them. Everyone talks about the spirituality of this park. It's about more than food. The goal is to show people how to be healthy and build a greater sense of community.
I'm gonna only take half of the oatmeal because a lot of people don't eat. And I'd rather take half than waste it.
No problem. Brown rice?
They like that cereal though.
They do? Brown rice?
Yeah, brown rice is good, yes.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
Cereal? You prefer cereal over the oats?
Yeah, because there's a lot of
Half and half
kids.
kind of thing?
Yeah, and they like the cereal better than the.
Okay.
This right here, peppers.
These are harvested this morning
Thank
from the
you.
garden team. And then we got collards,
Collard greens,
beans, okra,
cherry tomatoes. Oh, I love okra too. I appreciate you all delivering to the community. You too, Brother Joe. Couldn't do it without you. Cause you the driver, boy. I ain't never seen nobody drive a truck like you.
Volunteers and city employees bag them up.
Right now we're bagging up the food. After we bag the food, we'll be taking them door to door to the people in the community that touches this immediate area. Next Saturday, we'll be doing movies in the park at Brownsmere Food Forest. We have a buffet set up where everyone gets to eat. We do everything we do here for free, but we do accept donations for those that want to give, but we don't charge for anything. This is us giving back to our community.
Celeste goes door to door and delivers to homes that are close to the forest. Others will be delivered by car.
How you doing? Good. You're welcome, baby. We're gonna have movie night on Saturday. I appreciate you. God bless you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You're welcome to it.
If you want some more bags, because I know you got a couple of families in there. Hey there, buddy. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Okay, get that. Oh,
Hey,
thank
baby.
you so much.
You're welcome.
You have a great day.
You too, my dear. We'll see you in 2 more weeks.
Okay, thank you.
At the time we visited the forest, it was a little less than 5 years old. There are plans to add a lot of extras. Jacques Cormier is working to establish images that will be placed around the forest. It's called Photo Voice, using photos to give a voice to the people.
If you've been on social media, you've probably done photo voice to some degree. You took a picture about something, you said if you liked it or not, and then you posted it. That's what photo voice is. It's getting prompts like, what do you appreciate about the food forest? What will happen if someone tries to take away the food forest? How has being part of the food forest changed how you thought about food? And then people would use images to illustrate that.
Eventually, those images will be displayed throughout the forest, but it also gives people the power to have their voices heard through photography.
Photo Voice came out of the need, especially for communities that may have been overlooked, that might not have the biggest political draw. And Photo Voice allows for them to go to their board commissioners meetings, to their political elected officials, and instead of just a write-up saying we would like these things, you now have an image. And as we have seen, images are really powerful, as we have iconic images throughout time, especially over the past century. Those are what gets people to really act. Those are what gets people to really emotionally connect to the issue, concern, and strengths of a community.
There are plans to add more gardens and projects throughout the food forest. This is a new concept for a city park, but in a relatively short period of time, it has become a family-friendly community hub.
This food forest has been deemed a success. In fact, there are now plans to build another forest garden more than double this size. The new development plans call for a food forest that is more than 20 acres large. I'm Sharon Collins. We'll see you next time.
Funding for Georgia Outdoors has been made possible in part by the Imlay Foundation and from viewers like you.